Good morning, guys, from a, again, blue sky but very wet Rome. It has been raining tonight, I think, or last night. I'm gonna go to the car. We're gonna go drive to Anzio, which is a coastal city which was very important in Roman times, but also important in our times, or the current times, because in 1944, I think it was, the Allied actually used Anzio as a bridgehead. So it's a lot to learn there. They did like a D-Day kind of invasion there, on which they made the bridgehead for their advances into Italy and of course into Rome. It's about an hour drive from here. I do want to drive a different road, so we might actually be on the way a little bit longer. But it's going to be a very scenic route, hopefully, alongside the water, I hope. So we're going to try and see if we can find it, get there, and then we'll take you guys with us again. Alright, so we made it to Anzio. To be more specific, a side city to Anzio. It's called Nettuno, I think it is. It was a crazy ride to get here. The roads are very, very terrible. The traffic is terrible. People just drive like fucking idiots. Which is sometimes really funny. I'll put on some highlights from the road that we had under this one. Anyway, we made it to a McDonald's, which is just gonna head to the bathroom real quick, use the bathroom, get some coffee, and then we're gonna go across the street because by accident, this wasn't planned at all, we arrived at a McDonald's that is across the street from the American cemetery. So we're gonna go into the McDonald's, have lunch, or have a coffee and probably a sandwich as well, and then cross the street and go into the American cemetery. So yeah. It's gonna be interesting. A bit of a history lesson. The 10th of July 1943, the first Allied landings were at Sicily. We're not at Sicily now, we're in Anzio. And the 17th of August they actually freed Sicily, on which the 3rd of September the Italian government signed the treaty, or the weapon ceasefire, it is actually in English. And then on the 1st of October, the American 5th Army freed Naples, and the British 8th Army captured several airfields in the area of Foggia. Between October and December, they pushed forward up north, basically, until they were stopped at the Gustav Line. It's pretty well known for Monte Cassino, for example. And then let me check because I have everything. On the 22nd of January 1944, they decided to make a flanking maneuver and did a amphibious landing at Anzio, which the Germans did not expect. So the Germans, Italians already switched sides. They were now allied, if you will. And then starting the 3rd of February up to the 20th of February, the German forces launched counterattacks, and the Allied ground and air force, along with the Navy, defended the bridgehead with success. And then between March and May, they kept fighting until the 23rd of May. They actually broke through the Gustav Line and were able to free Anzio. And then the 4th of June 1944, they actually freed Rome. So it was a very long way that they were here, long time that they were here, defending from the Germans. And I think it's quite obvious that this is the effect of it. There are currently, my dad's already changing up the information. We're looking at 7,860 graves right here, and then we have an additional 3,095, well, not necessarily graves, but they are kept on a stone because they are MIA. So they never found the bodies, which is, I think it's somewhere over there, just in the distance. I have no idea where we are. We drove through the most interesting roads, small, steep, whatever. We made it to a beautiful view. So we made it back to the hotel at this point. Today not a very interesting vlogging day. We spent about 95% of the time in the car, driving through the Italian inland, heading through some mountains or hills. Roads were interesting though, but I'll try to edit in some of the footage that we did today. Some of the roads that we drove today, I'll edit them in behind after this piece of scenery, or this scene if you will. But we just made it back to the hotel. We're gonna relax a little bit and wait for dinner again. We're gonna go back to our restaurant if you will, and eat some, I don't know what I'm gonna eat today, to be honest, but yeah, again, vlogging not very interesting. But that's because we were in the car so long. We drove, I think, about 350 kilometers. So that's actually pretty long. It was very beautiful though. It was really worth it. And Italy is interesting. It's strange. Road-wise, the roads are really bad at some places, but it's just the scenery around it and the way, like driving through the fields and driving through the mountains, and the view is just absolutely amazing. And I'm really happy that we did it. I am happy I didn't drive with my own car, because that was actually the first intention, to drive to Rome in my own car. But having these roads would probably mean that if I come back to Holland or Netherlands, I would have to go back to the car dealership and replace my whole entire shocks and springs and stuff, which I don't really want to do. So I'm happy we actually went with the airplane and just rented a car here, which wasn't that expensive anyway. So yeah, I'm really happy for that part. So now relaxing, starting editing the vlog, see what I can do with the footage, and wait for dinner, basically.